Hi again. This response is to Systems Knowledge 5A, which talks about the scenario, I believe it was called Too Much of a Good Thing, which talked about how the teacher was having some frustration and fatigue over so many consultants coming into her classroom. Actually was very relatable when I first took my teaching role here at Educare. I'd never been in a place that was so open to the public and required us to have so many people kind of watching and observing and giving us constant feedback. So that was a really big adjustment for me. So I could relate to the teacher in this scenario quite well. I definitely feel like as the consultant, I would want to connect with that teacher at some point and really kind of reassure her that it's okay that she feels that way. Many times people come into this field to be just with children. And, if we're going to make a change and impact for our field for the future, it's requiring that we're doing more than that and that we're providing evidence and research-based practices. So the plates are a little fuller for sure, I think, than what some people are expecting. So I definitely would want to just kind of connect with her and say, I hear that you are maybe feeling a little overwhelmed. Is that accurate? And then I would definitely think that that would be something I would want to talk to whoever is the person making decisions about when things happen in classrooms. So I think for me, the biggest issue is that the leadership in the program would need to be able to sort of map out who are our consultants, what are our expectations, when is that appropriate, and what's the timing, and really keeping the consideration of the staff and the children in their first and foremost in their minds to make sure that they're not overwhelming people. The other point I think that's important is when you have these interdisciplinary teams of consultants, it would be really good if they could come together and connect for that program and sort of talk through maybe what's working and maybe what isn't. And in general, meet with the leadership so that you can decide together a strategic plan that's going to work best for everybody. Because I bet if this teacher feels that way, there are probably a few others who do. It also makes me think about, do we even explain to them the why behind it? Do they know the purpose of what's happening with consultation and that it's not seen as you doing something wrong? It's seen as you being offered some information and support. And so I think about what sort of training they may have gotten or what is their understanding or interpretation of this sort of support, which can be very different than what people are used to. I also think that, yes, I put timing as my last note. I think timing is really kind of everything. I think we've learned that a lot over the past couple of years. And if a teacher is feeling this sort of overwhelmed, I think it's really worth paying attention to that. And it's worth connecting and it's worth saying, is what we're doing and the timing of it, is it working for everybody involved? And kind of take that maybe negative situation and use that as a way to reassess and think about how you're planning, and also to think about, do they understand the links between those consultants? Do they understand that the mental health consultant absolutely would have a part and play a role in the social emotional growth of children as well, and then linking that to the assessment tool so that they could see where those connections are. And I think once people can connect the dots, and if leaders can articulate those well, it helps people to really be able to see, this is why we're doing what we're doing. It's not just to impose on you, but it's because we actually want to provide the best quality care we can for children and a great learning environment where plenty of PD is happening for staff. So those are my thoughts on that. Okay, thank you for listening.